In today's video, I'm going to share with you brutally honest mindsets and lessons that will help shape you into the woman you want to become. We all have our dream girl, the dream woman, the kind of lady that you want to become. But a lot of times as we go through life, certain things come into play that disrupts those actions, those goals, and those steps that you can take to become the woman you want to become. Well, today I am going to break down all of those lessons that I have learned over the years, the ones I am still learning, and some interesting steps that I have taken and still taking to help me step into my queenly self. Number one, you really have no idea what you are truly capable of. As ladies, we will find ourselves in that comfort zone, that comfort space where we feel safe, we feel vulnerable. But the truth is, the woman you want to be is on the other side of that comfort zone. I remember years ago when I decided to start my journey, my business as a speaker and as a coach. Now, having been a broadcaster for close on 2 decades, but the area of the business part of it was different for me, and I felt I just needed to stay in my comfort zone. Being a broadcaster was okay. It was my comfort space. I had the expertise there. But I knew I wanted much more than that. I wanted to grow beyond just being a face on television or a voice on radio. I wanted to connect with more people. I wanted to connect physically with people. And I knew that that area of my business was what was lacking behind. So I said to myself, you either get yourself out of this comfort zone and step into the world where you want to go into, or you stay stuck where you are. And trust me, staying stuck was the last thing I wanted for myself. So I pushed myself out of my comfort zone. I started getting more speaking events that was physical. So I was having conferences, events, red carpets, workshops, seminars, panel events, gatherings where I could physically speak with people. And the more I did all of that, the more I saw my capabilities, the more I saw a bigger part of me. The only way to find out your capabilities, your talent, your skills is when you get out of your comfort zone. The same applies to whatever area you are in life. Whether you want to start a new project, you have a book you want to write, you want to start networking, socializing, meeting high-value people. As a high-value woman, for you to go from where you are to the woman you want to be, you have to take that bold step and get out of your comfort zone. Number 2, just because the crowd isn't clapping doesn't mean that you are not winning. Oh goodness. Now this speaks power to me. I don't know about you, but it speaks power to me. A lot of times when we embark on a journey, on a goal, on a project, we're waiting for validation of the world, whether it's validation of our friends, our family members, the clients, the people that we are connecting with. We're waiting for their applaud. We're waiting for their validation. We're waiting for them to give us a tick mark, a check mark that we have done well. Sometimes you get this applaud. Sometimes you get this acknowledgement, and sometimes you don't. The funny thing is that when you don't get this acknowledgement, when you don't get this applaud, you subconsciously start to question yourself. You start to question your capabilities. You start to question your confidence. Did I do well? Was I good enough? Did I get it right? You start to ask yourself all of these negative self-questions because you didn't get the applaud from people. But the truth is, unless you believe in yourself and believe in your worth, believe in your capabilities, believe in your value, no one will believe in it for you. So whether the crowd is applauding you or not, it's your responsibility. You owe it to yourself to believe in what you have to offer. And one of the things I did during that period where I wasn't getting response was that I started working more on my craft. So rather than focus on I wasn't getting feedback, or I wasn't getting an applaud, or I wasn't getting anyone acknowledging what I have done, I went back into the drawing board and said, reanalyze what you have done. Ask yourself, what can you do to get better? Because at the end of the day, when you're able to give value to people in a way that transforms their lives, you become that unforgettable person that people want to relate with, that people want to have in their lives. Number 3, you are better than the narrative that your anxiety is creating in your head. Ladies, sometimes we feel afraid, we're nervous, you have anxiety about certain decisions in your life, whether it's a relationship, a project, a goal, whatever it is that you're working on that is making you feel anxious, that is making you question yourself, making you doubt your capabilities. What I want you to know is you are totally better than the narrative that anxiety is feeding you. That moment where your thought process has to tell you you're not good enough, you don't belong there, who do you think you are? When you have that thought process in your head pushing you to question yourself or to disqualify you from the spotlights that you deserve to be, I want you to take a step back and say this to yourself: I am better than the narrative that this anxiety is feeding me with. Number 4, you have worked too hard to allow a season of no's, failures, or rejections convince you that there is no light at the end of the tunnel. Raise your hand or drop a comment if you have ever experienced a rejection or a failure that made you question who you are. We've all been there. Either rejected from a job opportunity or had a heartbreak. We have all had periods in our lives where we got people who rejected us, where we failed at something. You see, this takes me back to the first time that I lost my first job as an adult. The truth is that it affected my self-worth. Remember my father telling me, losing the job does not mean you're not good enough. But it took a lot from me to convince myself that losing this job that didn't mean I had lost my life. Losing this job didn't mean that my life was over. Because at that point, that was how I felt. But over the years, I realized that the fact that I got a no somewhere, I was rejected somewhere, I failed at a project I was working on, didn't mean that there was no light at the end of a tunnel. It actually meant there are opportunities to learn. So a lot of times in life, when we fail at something, rather than see the wound in that failure, it's important for us to start to see the wisdom in that failure. What can I learn from this situation? What can I learn about myself? What can I learn to help me project the best version of myself in future? By looking at the wisdom in that failure, in that rejection, will help you see clearly. Because a lot of times when we go through rejections in life, because we have not picked the wisdom from it, because we are focusing on dwelling on the wound, we repeat that same mistake over and over again, and it becomes a pattern. And you do not want to find yourself in a pattern of a bad relationship, a bad job opportunity, bad friendship, and all of that. So it's important that you tell yourself there is light at the end of this tunnel. It might look bad right now. It might look like I failed. It might look like I was heartbroken. It might look like I was rejected. But I know that because this person rejected me doesn't mean I should reject myself. Because this opportunity didn't come for me doesn't mean that great opportunities will not come out of me. 5, some people need to be kept at arm's length. Oh yes. If you have ever been in a toxic relationship or a toxic friendship, then you will understand why it's important to keep some people on an arm's length. Keep them far away, keep them at a distance. Operate with them. You know, you have people like that who you can't Completely eliminate yourself from them. It could be a family member. It could be just practically anyone. You cannot eliminate yourself from them. So what can you do? You operate with them from a distance. Toxic energy and toxic people, if you do not realize it, they deposit something in you that builds up and starts to radiate and attract negativity. So when I notice this, when I notice someone has a toxic energy, when I notice someone has some form of energy that drains me or makes me feel less than myself or makes me question my capabilities, what I do is that I start to distance myself, because I don't have the space for it. I don't have the space for negativity. I don't have the space for toxic energy. I don't have the space to be unhappy. And that has worked for me. Over the years, I have learned to put myself in a space of happiness. Either I am building the happiness for me, or I am associating with people who bring happiness around me. But I have made it a conscious effort to make sure I invest in myself and invest in my happiness. So when I find things that drains me, that invest negative energy in me, I am done with it. I'm pushing it aside. I am taking it away from my space. I am giving it as much distance as I can. Life is just too short to hold on to things or to people that no longer serves you. Life is too short to allow other people's drama create a dredge in your life. Life is too short to hold on to friendships and relationships that bring negative energy into your life. So if you can't eradicate them, if you cannot eliminate them, if you cannot remove them from your life completely, please deal with them from a distance. Give them ample space. And when you give ample space, do you know what you're doing? You subconsciously setting boundaries. You are setting boundaries. When you are able to set boundaries around you, people respect that even more than when you're just an open book where everyone can just flip in and flip out, flip in and flip out. And when they're done, what they deposit in your life, you can barely deal with it. If you've ever noticed that when you meet some people, you have this positive aura, that after you have met them, you feel good about every conversation you had with them. You feel good about meeting them. You just have this sense of happiness in your heart, and you keep smiling, and people are asking you, why are you blushing? And you do not know how to explain it, to express it, because it's simply because you met someone with an energy that is so positively contagious. That kind of energy is what you need. But when you meet someone and just a few minutes of meeting them, you are already upset, you are agitated, and then you feel uneasy. And then before you know it, you are responding aggressively to topics in conversation, and you are feeling on the edge and all of that. Some people bring that energy along with them. And when they bring that energy along with them, they give it to you subconsciously. They pass it on to you through conversations. And that's why I constantly say, as a high value woman, one of the values you need to build for yourself. For me, I have a conversational value, and that is to leave every conversation I go into and everyone I meet better than I met them. So every interaction I enter, every conversation I enter, everyone I meet, I am cautious of my choice of words. I'm cautious of the actions I take around them. I'm cautious of the energy I transmit, because I do not want to leave anyone worse than I met them. But there are people who bring a negative energy around you, and you're agitated, you're just angry. And then when they're gone, you're wondering, why do I feel so drained? Why do I feel so, I feel like I've just spoken so much, I'm tired. If you have been in such conversations, you understand. Some conversations just get you so tired, and you feel, goodness, why did I engage in this conversation? So it's important that to shape the woman you want to become, you must learn how to deal with people, certain people, with arm's length. Keep them in a distance. I mean, if they're not adding value to your life, if you feel they're taking from you more than they're giving you, then it's time to give them space. Number 6, if you don't think highly of yourself, why should others do? One thing we do, there's one mistake I want to mention that you as a high value woman, you need to be extremely careful of. Is connecting by complaining. This is when you meet someone for the first time and the first things that you blot out of your mouth is to complain about the economy, complain about the country, complain about your finance, complain about the traffic. There is something to complain about. I'm not saying that the world is not tough as it is. I'm not saying that people are not going through tough situations. I'm not saying that the economy is not bad. I am aware of that because we are all in the economy. I am saying that when you meet people, when you are interacting with people, when you are socializing with people, when you are having conversations with people, when you meet people for the first time, the first thing that comes out of your mouth should not be negativity. It should be positivity. So even if the traffic was bad getting here, you shouldn't start by saying, oh, the traffic was bad, Lagos is terrible. You don't need to do that. You can say, the traffic was long, but I had an amazing time in it, listening to my favorite playlist. Look for a way to infuse something positive. Because at the end of the day, people get to associate you with how you associate yourself. So if you do not think highly of yourself, if you don't present the best version of yourself to people, how do you want others to do that for you? Oh, why should I think highly of you if you don't think highly of yourself? Number 7, the woman you want to become requires that you master how to attract, how to captivate, connect, and enroll people. As a high value woman, you want to step into the best version of yourself. In business, in social life, in your relationship, your marriage, it's important that you learn how to attract people in business, how to attract people in social environments. You also want to master how to captivate and connect people with people. These are things that I realized this late as well, because I knew that, it's one thing to be educated. It's one thing to go to school and graduate with a certificate. It's another thing to know how to attract, captivate, and enroll. As a high value woman, you want to learn how to enroll people into your goals, enroll people into your circle, enroll people into your project, enroll people into your business idea. And that's a key thing to shaping the woman you want to become. Learning this as a technique and having that mindset works magically for you because it completely transforms how you show up. It transforms how you present yourself. It transforms how you communicate, what you say and how you say it. It transforms the totality of who you are. And when I learned this, I knew that I wanted to work on myself. I knew that I wanted to do much more than just be an ordinary woman. I hope this has been helpful. The next video right here that you want to watch will help you not only present the best version of yourself, but it will show you the tips and techniques that you need to be able to project that queenly self of yours. And if you want to be a part of our community where we have elite high value women learning, relearning, unlearning, and applying different techniques, where you can also network and make like-minded women, where you can socialize and build yourself into an elite woman of influence, then you want to be a part of the YQS Club. All you have to do is comment YQS in the comment below and I'll send you the link to join the community. And I'll see you in the next video.